Hello there, my name is Bruce Rain from Breakers Creations. Thank you very much for joining me today. Quick little shout out here. I'm going to say hello to Jeff, hello to Sad Mac, hello to Retro Techie, hello to Joe. Have you been in the wars, mate? What have you done to your back? Hello Garth, how are you? I hope everyone is very well. I am live streaming today for the first time in a couple of weeks. Mind you, I did sort of live stream last week when I appeared as a guest on Jay from the House of Moths video as he was assembling a blue scuzzy. Mr. Yeet official, hello. Sick of missing your streams. Well, you haven't today, so there you go. Al Fulton, hello. Patrick Pitts, hello. Eric, hello. Jojo Brubaker, hello. And Sorcerer Stan, hello all to these people that are jumping on now. I do appreciate it. Thank you very much. I haven't really got anything particularly interesting at the moment. I've just got piles and piles and piles of boring recapping, and then I've got a few problem boards. And one of them I actually want to talk about here because I'm going to put out the question to the community and see if anyone actually knows the answer to this one. I know it's probably a question that people would expect that I would know, but I don't. So, need to assemble a couple of blue scuzzy. Yes. Yeah, I've been doing a fair bit of that lately myself, I have to admit. Hello, Michael. Hello, Horst. Started streaming while I'm at work, but through the power of Zoom, I can multitask. Excellent, excellent. Who works on a Sunday, Horst? What's all that about? Apart from me, of course, if you consider this work, could be, I don't know. So I am probably going to recap this today. It is a Macintosh LC. LC standing for low cost, and it is one of the two computers that Apple released using a 68020 CPU. Not really one of their finest. I work helping kids learn to teamwork in Minecraft. That is a very good thing. How about that? Anywho. Yeah, so anyhow, the question I had, I've got this Macintosh SE30 at the moment. It's giving me some grief. And we all know the Sad Mac chime. We've all heard it before. It's the horrible Sad Mac chime when it has it makes a horrible noise because it's got a problem with the RAM in there. I've got an SE30 that does something different. It does a Sad Mac chime, but it is a slightly different tone. And so I suspect it is actually warning me about something else, but I don't know. You know what I should do? I should actually look up the SE30 Apple technical guide thingy. That probably gives me a little bit more information about what that chime is. It's a slightly different sounding chime and it occurs at a slightly different time during startup. So I suggest that it's probably not just RAM, it's probably something else. But anyway, hello Dana, thank you for joining today. So anyhow, I have been ridiculously busy at the moment, both in my full-time job and obviously doing this stuff as well. And I'm way behind on heaps of stuff, and people keep sending stuff to me, even though I'm not officially taking on any stuff. People just say, "Hey, can I send this to you now?" And I'm like, "Yeah, okay." And then it just arrives at the door. I got 2 Compact Macs sent to me the other day, and they sent me the whole thing rather than just the board. So I think they're classics. So that'll be a classic 1 and a classic 2. Probably should work at those. GT, how you going? I'm at a LAN party. Well, Dana, you need to put all that LAN stuff aside and enjoy the fun and games that we're going to have today doing recapping. Which of course we've never seen before. Never lift a network cable overhead while twisting to the right. Okay, Joe's got tips for us about life, and that's got to be one of the best. I like that one. Ah, dear. So, how's everyone been? Everyone been doing good, doing interesting stuff, having a good time, having fun? I mean, it is Sunday here. It is 11:25 a.m. and it is a beautiful day outside. Absolutely magnificent. It'll touch warm in the shed here, but in the studio that's decked out to look like a shed. Did anyone happen to notice the new sign? I suffered the jealousness of Jay from the House of Moths illuminated sign, and so I had to go and get my own. So yeah, picked up a Retro Mac haul today, posted a video on my channel. Oh, I will be checking that out. Mr. Fahrenheit, thank you for joining. was chatting to Mr. Fahrenheit a little bit earlier today. I do hope you had your steaks. New retro repair. That sign is pretty swish. Yeah. It's a little bit early to start drinking, but never mind. Right. Neil, hello. Steak was great. I'm pleased to hear it. All right, so recapping a Macintosh LC, I may as well get into it and I can just prattle on while I'm doing it. These have quite a lot of caps, not as much as the LC2, but there are quite a few. We've got all these ones here. God, have I got my caps down here or do I leave them up inside? Oh no, they're here. Phew. Sometimes I take my caps upstairs to do a bit of a stock take and then order things if I want. Oh. Whee! Thank you very much, Garth. Appreciate that. Thank you. Super chat, big one. Thank you for your generosity. Nice glass of wine to go with your sign. I will probably do that. I'll drink it out of a wine glass like that. Right. All right. So the first thing we've got to do, as usual, we've got to get these caps off. Well, actually, the first thing I have to do is log this into my system, but I did do that. Mind you, it was a bit of a challenge because I can't quite make out the whole serial number. It's very, very kind of faded, and so I can make out the first few digits, and hopefully that will be enough. Yeah, SG1111. So I hope that's enough that I can identify it against the other boards that I have here. So I've logged it into my system, and then we are going to, and I've taken some photos of it, and then I'm going to get my little Ziploc bag here, and I'm going to get, where do I purchase my caps from? I purchase them from different places, actually, and it usually has to do with doing what I'm ordering. So, for example, I am about to do a DigiKey order, and what I will often do is I'll get some caps and tack it onto the end of that order. It's just trying to minimise, postage costs and stuff like that. So there are certain times where I need to get things from DigiKey because of their stock, or I might need to get them from Mouser. If I'm in a hurry, if I need to get caps in a hurry here in Australia, I'm more likely to go to Element 14 because they do keep a good range of capacitor stocks here in Australia, in their warehouses in Australia. DigiKey are pretty quick getting the stuff here from wherever it comes from, but yeah, I would, I buy from the 4 places I buy from are DigiKey, Mouser, Element 14, and RS Components. I used to buy exclusively from RS Components until they stopped stocking what I wanted. They used to have stuff that they stocked here in Australia, and I just used to be able to order it and get it the next day. And now they've stopped stocking it locally. They only stock it overseas, and that's a real pain for me. So, yeah. So if I'm in a hurry, Element 14. Otherwise, it'll probably be DigiKey or Mouser. God, that was a very, very long way of answering a simple question, wasn't it? Let's go to my little repair software here and find out what the job number is for this one. This is job number 142. 142. So I'll take off the bits and put them in my little baggie. Quicker. Yeah, cool. Caps have got a lot more expensive in the last 6 months or so. Yeah, and harder to get hold of too. There have been times where I've wanted to order some stuff and they haven't been there, and it's been very frustrating. I assume it's all part of the same kind of component shortage that's been going on worldwide. It's impacting a lot of things. I mean, even just getting things like the little blue pills for the blue scuzzies, they're getting harder. I virtually can't buy them here in Australia for less than about $20 each, which is just insane. So I've been having to buy them from the United States. Getting some gloves on today because I've got a feeling I'm going to get sticky, and I don't like sticky hands. Don't like it. Hello, Jay. He is sick of recapping, which is fair enough. I can't say as I blame him. Yeah, there's just been a little bit too much, isn't there? Welcome to Jay from the House of Moth. Electrolytics are in shortage a few weeks back. Yeah. I know that there was some issues getting hold of some of the tantalums. You know, I've got links to Mouser on my Recap and Mac website, and some of those links are for products that aren't in stock. Very frustrating. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, I know tantalum is a particularly rare mineral. It's a pretty rare mineral. So, but I don't know if there's a tantalum shortage or whether it's just to do with manufacturing or whatever. Okay. Blue pills are getting harder. Stop it. Mind in the gutter, Joe. Now, what was I going to say? Oh, I should make mention that the cat's kind of out of the bag now. I mean, there is a new vintage computer forum being launched upon the world that I just need to mention to everyone. You can look at it at the moment, but you can't join it yet because we're still in beta testing phase. But we made the decision this morning that as the cat is well and truly out of the bag, that we might just sort of make mention to people to get ready for October the 31st launch date, which is, what, 2 weeks away, I think? A new vintage computer forum called tinkerdifferent.com. So jump on, have a look, guys. Check it out. It's as I say, there's not a whole lot of content on there because it's still in its infancy, but we will be launching that in a couple of weeks' time and inviting everyone to come and take part. So there you go. You heard it here first, or probably second or third, because we weren't very good at keeping that particular cat in the bag, I have to say. Outbound just blew a cap and it smelled like fish. Yeah, I know. That's does anyone know how to take it apart and recap it? I can tell you absolutely no. I've never even got close to an outbound, so I have nothing that I can share with you on that, I'm afraid. Hallows Eve, yes, it is indeed. It is Hallows Eve that we are launching, and it's mainly just to do with the fact that I think it's a Sunday and it's the end of the month, but it just happens to also be Halloween, which of course we don't really celebrate in a big way out in this country. It's changing. It is getting celebrated more here, but we've got to the point where I do need to keep a little bowl of lollies near the door because we do get 1 or 2 visitors on Halloween. Not many though, but a couple. Yeah, so it's for the youngsters, you see. It's for the youngsters. Right, I'm going to get myself a little bit of heat shield here for removing these caps. Someone is cooking something and it smells nice. Either that or I'm having a stroke. There is, oh man, it's nice. I don't know. It smells like samosas or something. Yummy. It smells like sort of fried curry. Fried pastry and curry. Yum. Okay. Just checking on the chat here. Got on board. Hello, George. Hello. Finding my way on electronic gadgets. Excellent. Yeah, I mean, this is I have some fairly generic sort of soldering videos, learning how to solder, that sort of stuff. But then this is the more specific stuff where I'm actually going in and working with the vintage computers. In this instance, a Macintosh LC. Some might argue why you would even bother to restore an LC, but it is a part of history. So, yes, underpowered, but it was inexpensive colour available. You can get an Apple computer with colour. Pretty impressive, but nice and cheap. By those standards, nice and cheap. These days would be bloody expensive. Okay, so time to start getting rid of some caps here. Jay from the House of Moth. I watched that movie last night. And I have to say, I thoroughly enjoyed it, though my wife not so much. There often seems to be the smell of cooking in the background. Yes, there does. I don't know if it's neighbours or, I mean, up that way there are actually a few restaurants that way. Like if I was to climb over people's fences, I'd be able to get there in a very short distance. But to walk, I have to go all the way around there. But it's quite, the way the crow flies is quite close, and there are a few restaurants there. So that could be where the smells are coming from. Right. Now, we are working around the sound chip here at the moment. I'm going to jump across to the microscope view because that's a little bit more interesting than my ugly mug. And what we've got there in view, right there is the sound chip. 1990 Apple, yeah. And then we've got a whole bunch of caps around it. And they, as you can see, we've got quite a bit of corrosion here. It's not looking too crash hot at all. So the hope is that we will be able to get this all nice and clean and tidy and working well. I haven't tested this one. I'm just going to recap it without testing because of the wonderful things he does. I'm down on my surface mount component speed. No. Oh, is that a 78 L08? Yes, it is indeed. Which, let me guess, is that a little amplifier? Horst, is that... Off comes a 1 microfarad 50 volt. Off comes a 10 microfarad 16 volt, and we popped. We've got some poppers here. Look out everyone, some poppers. And around here I want to try and protect my headphone socket. Don't like it when I get them melted. Ow, 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 ow. Hot. Oh, I don't think there are people turning up. There are people turning up faster than I can see. Hello to everyone who's turning up who I haven't said hello to. It's a linear voltage regulator. There you go. Oops. Look, I've already blown it through a hole on the glove here. There we go. Put my finger poking through. All right, come on, let's continue. I'm just getting dragged down here. It's terrible. Now, I have been receiving quite a bit of pressure from the community at large to hurry up and make my ultrasonic cleaner video. And I just wanted to let everyone know that I have been listening to you, and I will be working on that video today, and I will be working very, very hard to try and get that video done ASAP. One of the challenges I have with that, and I need to do some little animations and things like that, and that I don't yet know how I'm going to do them. In illustrating how things like an ultrasonic cleaner works, I kind of want to have little animations, and I've just got to try and figure out how I'm going to do that. You can borrow the ultrasonic cleaner, Horst, but the boards will have to come here. I'm afraid I can't take it there. But yes, you can certainly use it to clean your boards. I have no issue with that at all. I'll be firing this one up today, actually. I've got quite a lot of ultrasonic cleaning to do. I'll fire up the big one, save me a bit of time, could put more in there. You Retro Repair, hello. I remember you threatening to do a video a few whiles ago. Yeah, I know it was. And it stopped and then it started. And then time is the biggest issue that I have. I mean, I basically work 7 days a week. And I sort of, I'm like, okay, well, I want to do this video. It's like, yeah, I definitely want to do it. When am I going to do it? When's it going to happen? Yeah, I know. I got pressure. I got pressure from Joe when I was lurking on his live stream the other day, which unfortunately I wasn't allowed to stick. I wasn't able to stick around for that long. I was there for probably half an hour, something like that, and then I had to dash off and do something else. It's often the case. One of the things that I often find is that, you know, when I'm watching live streams from my friends in the US, they're usually live streaming in their evening. And so they, you know, might have had their dinner or whatever, and they're all done, and they can just sort of park themselves in front of the computer and watch a live stream. But most of the time, these live streams for me are right in the middle of the day, and I might have to go out, I might have to work, I might have to go to meetings, I might have to take phone calls, all that sort of stuff, and then I'm like, oh damn, I've got to go. Sometimes when I'm working on LCs, I accidentally knock components off around this little cluster of capacitors, because they're all so close to each other. Just letting everyone know, full disclosure, I do that sometimes. I put them back on again, but, you know, I do sometimes knock them off. Oh, it's just getting warm in here. I'm really wishing I hadn't worn a singlet under this shirt today. Off. Just capacitors everywhere with this thing. All over the place. Oh, that was the one thing I did want to mention. No, it's gone. I'll remember it later. Wow, look at that. Has someone tried to clean this, or is that just goo? Look at that smeary mess. I don't know what's going on there. Has someone's tried to remove this. Someone's tried to remove this. That doesn't fill me with confidence. I suspect this thing's not going to work when I finish recapping it, because why would someone take off the CUDA chip? Why? Oh well. Oh well. Melt one side, twist up just enough to clear the solder, hit the other side. Yep, I've done that too. I actually demonstrated that in one of my recapping videos, because I did actually say to people, look, you know, not everyone has a hot air station, so if you don't have one, you can do it this way. The one thing I would recommend, though, for anyone who is wanting to remove these capacitors and doing it that way, wanting to melt the solder on one side and lift the other, when they're like this and they're all dry and crunchy on the outside, see how dry and crunchy that is? Get some new solder on them. So I get a little bit of flux. I've got a new flux syringe, and so it's squirting out really easily now. And you just get some fresh solder on there, and what you're wanting to do is you're wanting to try and just smother the old solder out, you know, just get new solder on there so that the old solder's gone. And then once you do that, then it's a lot easier to then do a bit of a lift. Mind you, I should probably get rid of some of that solder. I've got a bit too much there now. And then we can lift one side. Doing a terrible job, but nonetheless. And then we can, whoop, off he comes. And pads are still there. Yay! So it can be done. Can be done. Can be done. Don't want to melt. Ouch. Ouch. I said ouch. She can't take much more of it, Captain. She's about to blow. No, that was terrible. That was the worst Scotty ever. Yes, this is very true. Joe is giving great tips in the chat there. So if anyone wants to pay attention to what he's saying, he is giving good tips, very good tips. What am I doing? What am I doing? A bit scattered today, aren't I? Brain's not working. It's Sunday after all. You know what? I'm going to use that method, because rather than all these heat shields and stuff, I'm going to melt one side, going to lift it up, and be demonstrating what I'm talking about at an instance where it is actually useful to do. Cannot change the laws of physics, Captain. Whoops. Still managed to melt. Oh, stop being a swear word. I am coming at this at a bad angle. And so much for that demonstration. Not even in camera at the moment. There we go. There we go. My God, is that... Yeah. Okay. God, what a pain in the backside that was. Oh, hello, Mike. Thank you for joining, and thank you very much for the super chat. Is it done yet? Nearly. We've got all the caps off. That's a big thing. Yeah. All the caps are off. Macintosh LC, it is your favourite Mac. Mike loves the LC. There's nothing but fine things to say about it. What's the wattage of your heat gun? That's a bloody good question. Don't know. You're gonna make me go and have a look. Keep in mind, of course, we're in a 240 volt part of the world here, but oh crap, I can't even get to the back of it. We'll just have to guess. I can tell you what model it is, and you might be able to look it up. It is a Quick 861DW. Quick 861DW. And yeah, that's the best I can offer at the moment, because I can't get to it. Yes, what did happen with your stream today, Mike? That was a bit weird. I actually woke up early enough to watch it based on the time that you gave. I clicked on the link and it said, this video has been removed. And I thought, what? What? What's all that about? Huh? Just want to look at something. Just want to look at something. Okay, what do we know? When the smoke comes right up into my face, we know that I haven't turned on the fume extractor. There we go. Fume extractoring away. Lost power for a few hours and took a nap because I had a huge headache. Oh, that's no good. Well, I hope the nap helped and the headache has subsided. But yes, losing power does make it hard to live stream, doesn't it? I wonder if what would happen if that happened here. I do actually have a generator. I'm just wondering whether I would still be able to do it. I think I'd struggle out here because the generator only powers inside the house. You know, parts of inside the house anyway. It comes out at one power point in one room. So yeah, I don't know that I would be able to power this room here. I certainly wouldn't be able to do things like the hot air station. Probably be enough to power the computer and the soldering iron maybe. So, but yeah, I think if I had a power outage, it would have to be a Q&A session perhaps. Which of course, every one of my videos is a Q&A session. Ask away, ask any questions you want. Just ask and ask and ask. And if I have the power to do so, I will answer. I had a famous YouTuber buy a SCSI-2SD from me yesterday. Oh so famous Australian YouTuber. I mean, not the most famous, but certainly more famous than me. Is Illustrator or Photoshop better? It's comparing apples and oranges, I'm afraid. The Illustrator is a vector drawing tool, and Photoshop is a raster drawing tool. So the difference between the two being raster is where it's made up of lots of little pixels, and vector is where it's made up of like geometric lines and shapes. So yeah, so when it comes to illustrations, you know, vector-based drawing, I mean, Illustrator is my tool of choice. It's what I use. And Photoshop is my choice for, you know, raster editing. So yeah, so you can't really compare those two with each other because they serve two different purposes. What I would say to people is if you are wanting to do things like logos, like my little Brancus Creations logo there with the eye, that is a vector drawing. So what that means is I can scale that up to any size and it retains its resolution. So you know, it stays nice sharp edges, all that sort of thing. When we think of things like fonts, if you're typing some text and you change point sizes, it always maintains nice sharp edges no matter what point size you have them at. And that's because they are vector-based files. They can be scaled up. Yeah. Okay, what is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? Oh, a European swallow. Okay. I'm glad you're specific enough. Hello, Fried Aussie. That's the one, Retro Techie. I'm not quite sure. That's not the right spelling of it, but yeah. You did an NVIDIA 3090 repair a while ago. Did you get that going in the end? I still don't bloody know. So I sent that card back to the guy, and he got it. And then he contacted me and he said, "Oh, I got the card, but I don't have the power cable." He said, "I left the power cable up north." I don't know where up north is from him. So he said, "Next time I'm there, I'll grab the power cable." So, and I haven't heard anything from him since. So I don't know if he's been able to go and collect his power cable from wherever it is, but yeah, I still don't know. So. Right. I would love to know if it worked. I'll tell you one thing that did drive me absolutely bonkers. Does anyone remember the victory dance that I did recently? When the SE30 that I got going? Well, that SE30 got sent back home and it arrived the other day, and then he plugged it in and he got bloody CMAC on the thing. Can you believe it? So just talking him through, you know, possible causes of that. I think the most likely thing is the ROM sim, because that ROM sim was really badly damaged, and I did a little bit of trace repair on it, and I tried to re-tin all of the pads on the ROM sim, but it was still in terrible shape. And I did actually warn him. I said, "Look, you know, I don't know how well this is going to last," and so he's probably going to have to go and buy himself a Rominator to get that SE30 happening. But it was just so frustrating having that thing working so beautifully here, and then it gets packed up, sent over to the other side of the world. He plugs it in and he couldn't get it to work. It was very disappointing. I felt very sorry for him. But, you know, I mean, I know it works because, you know, I mean, it's not like it's going to just, you know, I know that the board is fine. But, yeah, that ROM sim is shocking. Okay. Through here, okay. All right, okay, let's continue with the cleaning of these pads. We have several to do, so we're just going to go through here and add some flux and add some solder. We're doing some gentle rubbing here. Have to be gentle, but we want to make it. We want to get this to the point where the entire pad will hold solder. Oops, I missed some fluxaroonie here. Fluxaroonie, macaroni, runny toddy. So. Let's get some solder on here, and then we will get rid of this solder with wick. But the whole thing when you're soldering things is what you're soldering to, what you're soldering, you know, the things you are soldering together, they must be clean. It's actually something that I had here once where someone asked me to do a recap for them of a product that I really did not want to work on. But I said, look, you know, I don't know anything about this, so I can recap it, sure, but I can't test it. And if it doesn't work afterwards, there's really not much more I can do. All I can do is recap it for you and then hand it back. So under those circumstances, if you're happy with that, then I will look at it. But anyhow, he bought a recapping kit and he sent it to me for it. And the caps were in really bad condition. The surface mount ones had all this crud on the pins. They wouldn't solder. They wouldn't stick to the bottom. I had to then go in and turn those caps upside down and clean all the pads underneath so that they would then actually stick. And that was a little bit frustrating. And I know the person thought they were doing me a favour by getting that cap kit, but to have ended up with caps in such poor condition, it was not good. No, very bad, very bad. All right. What was it you recapped? It was a monitor. It was a monitor, a display of some description. It was it was like a really fancy type one, the sort that you might have maybe in a TV station that they might use for viewing back the, the broadcast signal they're sending out. So it's one that's made with incredibly strict sort of, sort of color and stuff like that. So it was a very, very fancy, very expensive computer monitor made by Sony. And it had this controller board, and I had this recapping kit. And of course, while I was going in and recapping it, I found one cap that wasn't included in the kit that was bulging its top out. And so I replaced that as well. But then, I ultimately ended up saying to the guy, look, we've got one cap here which is bulging. You could well have other caps in here that are outside of their spec. And aren't going to work properly. But, that's not... They didn't pay me to go through and diagnose the whole board. They basically paid me to replace the cap. So I replaced all the caps in the kit, and then I replaced that one that was visibly bulging. But at the end of the day after that, it's like, well, if you want to sort of pay me some more to maybe go in and do further diagnosis, I can. But of course, once again, I said right off the bat, this is not a product I'm used to working with. I don't necessarily want to work with that sort of product. Shut up, chicken. One of my chickens is just being so noisy today. It's a big Australorp. For anyone who knows chickens, great big gigantic Australorp. Shush, shush, shush. Shush. And I don't know what has got it all riled up. It sure is riled up. Starting to piss me off. I have chickens, I do. I have 7 chickens. I used to have 8, but just recently I lost a chicken. And for anyone here who might have been a fan of the channel and potentially been a fan of the chickens appearing, the chicken that died was little Bernie, which was very sad. That's the little chicken that sometimes used to join me on live streams. She was kind of... One day I just noticed that she was kind of moving very slowly, and she was... She didn't move much during the day, and she didn't eat anything, and I was sort of keeping an eye on her and everything, and she seemed reasonably okay. At the end of the night, went up into the coop, got up the next morning, she was dead. Don't know why. Maybe she ate something. It all happened very, very quickly. And it's not like you can really take chickens to the vet. I mean, you can, but they're just going to send you home with them. They don't really do any proper, proper veterinary diagnostics on chickens. They just go, oh, that's a chicken. Is it sick? Oh, it might die, or it might live. It is just sad because she was still quite a young chicken. Only I think like a year and a half old, something like that. Very sad, very sad. Anyhow, still have 7 chickens. And of course the main thing that I have that I love are fresh eggs. Love fresh eggs. Okay. Oh, here's one more. Please tell me I'm nearly finished cleaning these caps. I'm getting really bored with it now. Poor little chicken, yes indeed. I am really warming up in here at the moment. I might have to turn the AC on in a second because I am not going to take my clothes off live stream. Otherwise I might lose my monetization. Yep, the most important thing about cooking eggs is fresh eggs, that's for sure. That's absolutely true. Alright, well I think I've cleaned up all these caps. So, I am 100% expecting that this thing will not work after recapping. Only because of the fact that someone has been messing with the CUDA chip, or the egret chip. I have so many egrets in life. Just going to give this a little bit of a clean. Chickens get breathing issue very quickly. And she didn't seem to be labouring the breathing or anything like that. She just seemed to be really kind of, what's the word, lethargic. Now I'm just going to give this a little bit of a scrapey scrape. I'll tell you someone who has been doing a lot of scrapey scrape lately. Our friend Jay from the House of Moth. He is doing so much scrapey scrape that he is not even happy to live stream it because he's like got nothing else but scrapey scrape. It's like no one's going to watch him scrapey scrape. I disagree. I think people would watch him scrapey scrape, but you know. Do. There's quite a bit of corrosion around this pad here. You can see this one's kind of malformed, and that's just corrosion that has happened, and possibly even some burning. It does happen sometimes with these, that when the caps start getting old and stuff like that, you end up getting a little bit of burning going on. But we've still got a pad. We've still got something we can attach a cap to, so I think we're fine. I got another SE30 sent to me the other day because there are just so many of them out there, and I was able to fire it up and no sound, but everything else is working fine. It's a very normal problem, very common sort of situation when you're dealing with SE30s, that the lack of sound, actually in a lot of these computers, the lack of sound is that first indicator that you've got some problem with caps. And same with one like this. Because I struggle to test the sound on an LC, because I don't... Do I have an LC? I've got an LC too. Oh, I do. I do have an LC now. I didn't used to have an LC, but yeah, the way the LC works, rather annoyingly, let's just change to the top view here. I mean, it's clever, but it's a pain for testing. So here, the board, and you get the same with a Macintosh 2 SI, I think. On the board, you've got these little things here, these flat bits of pads, thingses. It's those that are the sound and the fan. So 2 of these are the positive and negative for the fan, and then 2 of them are the positive and negative for the speaker. And whereas the LC2 and LC3 have a little pin there, I can just grab a speaker like this. No, not like that because it has no cable. I can grab a speaker like this, spare one from another Mac, and I can just go plug him in, listen to the sound. But I can't with this one because of that. I'd have to actually wire something up and that. I suppose I could grab the, what do you call that thing? I always struggle with what they're called, oscilloscope, and equivalent series resistance, everyone. Just letting people know that I can actually remember things. Equivalent series resistance. So I think it's locked in there now. Yeah, I could probably put the oscilloscope on some of these pins and see if I'm getting something that looks like an audio waveform coming out. Okay. Let's continue with the cleaning here. I think I actually helped a lot of people remember equivalent series resistance on that day. I think anyone who was watching who may not have been able to remember it, I suspect they all know it now. LC1 would make a great System 6 machine. Yes, it is a slow CPU, the 68020, but it will run very swiftly in System 6. It's actually really funny that people are very dismissive of System 6. And the fact is that System 6 is a very lightweight, very fast operating system. And you can still do a lot on it. I mean, yes, you will fire up some applications that say you need System 7 to run this. But, you know, a lot of period-specific applications and games and things like that will run on an LC beautifully under System 6. So, yeah, I mean, you just got to, I guess, go with the operating system which is going to suit that computer the best. LC3 is a great pizza box, got more memory expandability. No, don't mess with my head, Joe. Stop that. For some that's the LC series. Yeah, so I have got an LC and an LC2, and I've got an LC3 logic board which doesn't work. We had a look at it in one of my live streams. But the sound doesn't work, I think. Something doesn't work. Something does work and something doesn't work. I can't remember. Now, I need a recapping guide for this because I can't possibly remember where all these caps go. So I'm going to grab my little booklet here of recapping guides, which is underneath a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm really worried that things are going to come crashing down, but thankfully they haven't. And let's go in and have a look-see. So these are special limited release ones. See, some of these don't even have labels on them. Look, I've had to hand write on that SE30. When I put them up on the website, I neaten them up. Look, this one's got a burn mark. I'm going to put this one up on eBay and see what I can get for it. So 2CI, one of my favorite computers. I love that. Love just pulling out the 2CI and having a play with it. Quadra 700, another favourite of mine. Quadra 950, favourite of mine. There's a 2FX. Classic 2, a couple of different versions of Classic 2. Here's an LC. Interesting thing we discovered recently is there is another revision of the Mac 2 board out there. On my website, there's a recapping guide for Revision A and Revision B, and we've found a third revision. Thanks to Jay, I think it was yours, wasn't it, Jay, that we found? One of them was different to both of the guides that I've got. It's like, oh crap, I'm gonna have to make another one. It looks like prototype sheets there. Yep, sorry. Thank you very much for that, Jay. Thanks for posting about the old recap Mac thing. Right. Let's see what we need here. We need one microfarad 50 volts. I apologise if there is wind noise at the moment. I'm facing right into the air conditioner. 1 microfarad 50 volt, and we will get out that there. I've got 2 different sizes for this. I'm going to go with the wee little one, and he goes right up here in the corner. There. Microscope view. LC boards that are different from the documented ones. Yeah, that great big 2200 microfarad cap sitting up at the top of the board there. I've seen those, Mr. Fahrenheit. They pop up on eBay, sorry, not on eBay, on Facebook all the time with people saying, hey, check this out, have I got a prototype? And the fact is you don't have a prototype, you just got an early revision of the LC that had this gigantic 2200 microfarad capacitor up here, up here somewhere. Yeah, I would like to get one of those just for the sake of having one. And of course, those are the ones where you had the two floppy ports on them, because the LC was originally available as a floppy only version, where you could have a floppy on both sides and two little floppy ports. And then later on, they made it so that it was only available as a version with a hard drive, which makes sense. I mean, let's face it. At a certain point, it's like, yeah, come on, need a hard drive. Welcome the future. And also prototypes. Yes, I do accept that the prototype LC probably did have that, like that big gigantic capacitor. But the thing was that if you have one with that gigantic capacitor, it doesn't automatically make it a prototype. Because people get a bit excited when they find something like that, and they get on Facebook and they go, ooh, look, there are signatures inside my Mac Plus case. Is this worth a lot of money? It's like, yeah, okay. Another really interesting thing when it comes to collecting vintage Macs, and this is something I think people need to understand, is that from a collector's perspective, if you have a computer that has been upgraded, people will see it as the upgraded computer, not what it used to be. So, for example, if you buy a Macintosh 128K, the original Macintosh 128K that has been upgraded to a 512, if you're then trying to sell that, resell it, collectors see that as a 512. They don't see it as a 128. So that's just something worth keeping in mind, folks, for anyone who might be collecting. And that 100 microfarad 6.3 volts. I have two different sizes of that cap. I have the littler ones that I use when I'm recapping the CD drives. Actually, I've got one of those to recap at the moment. I probably should have done that today. Never mind. So 100 microfarad. Yes, I've got the little ones that I use for the CD 300, and then I've got these bigger ones that I use for replacing these caps here. There's enough room for this, mind you. Having said that, look how bloody close we are to that headphone socket. You know what I'm going to need to get out? The old conical. I have a 1984 Mac 128 that was upgraded to a Plus. Yes, a lot of them were. And of course, we know why they were upgraded. It's because the 128 was a ridiculously small amount of RAM. You really couldn't do much with it. So you can't blame people at the time for wanting to get them upgraded. And truth be told, it's very easy to laugh at it today, but the Plus was pretty darn impressive. You know, upgradable to 4 megabytes of RAM? That's a lot of RAM back then. Gotta get myself a conical tip just to make Jay happy. Oh, Craig, sorry for not saying goodbye. Goodbye, in case you watch this later on. 210 Scotland, yes. I was actually talking to someone today from the UK earlier. Those of you may well know Kai Robinson, who is the creator of the SE Reloaded project and the Classic Reloaded project. And I was having a bit of a chin wag with him this morning. And of course, it's very late over there. We don't have much in the way of time overlap. The only reason I'm able to actually communicate with Kai at all is because he stays up ridiculously late a lot of the time. Yeah, okay, that's in, we're good. We got that one, and now we need a few 4716s, like 5 of them. This is the most common capacitor size you're going to want if you're recapping vintage Macs. 4716s, they're everywhere. And if anyone is wondering why Steve from Mac 84 is not here today in the chat, it's because he's on holidays. Lucky devil. Where's the other 47? There. Let's get some caps on the board here. I do have to apologise if I'm missing stuff in the chat. It is moving by quite quickly at the moment. How many people have we got on here at the moment? 26. There we go. 26 lovely folks here. I didn't do a whole lot of promoting of this live stream today, so mainly because I was like, God, what am I even going to do? Oh, it's just going to be recapping again, isn't it? And it's going to be like a board that I've done a million times before. I was thinking, I haven't got anything interesting like a fancy graphics card or anything like that, or a spaghetti Mac. Just got dull old LC here. But what must be done, what must be done. I shot off a micropencil the video card repair that made me kind of want to get a smaller unit for myself for my 5-pin Hacko clone. Yeah, well, you can get that. It will fit. So the Hacko clone uses the same pin as the Hacko, and so you can get the micropencil. Now it's a genuine Hacko micropencil. Jay can probably put a link in there if possible, but I was blown away by it, I have to admit. You know, I mean, Jay had been talking about getting one for a while, and I was sort of like, yeah, I don't need one. I don't really need one. I don't really need one. And then I got it, and I was just amazed what a difference it made, in particular working on the more modern Macs, you know, like the MacBook Pros and stuff like that. When it came to working on things like the little QFN chips, it just did such a good job. I was amazed. I'm going to have to change back from this stupid conical tip. So I haven't had tantalum short on the Mac board yet. No, I haven't. I had a tantalum explode once, but it didn't do any damage. Blackened the board a little bit. The computer still worked perfectly afterwards. I did once put a capacitor on backwards on my own board many years ago, I might add. This wasn't on this was predating when I actually recapped other people's boards, but I put a cap around the wrong way, and when I plugged it in, it started to smoke. But it didn't blow up or anything like that. Oh, look at this! Look at this! Gertie, thank you for the super chat, and thank you for stopping by. Just working on my video release tomorrow, and I thought I'd swing by. Hope all is well. I saw your little mention in our group chat today that you were just in the process of rendering. I hope I don't have to wait too much longer for this video. I've been waiting, I think about 6 months or something now. So I hope that comes out very soon. But just a reminder to the folks out there that Greg Ritke from Ritke Mods, he is back. Welcome back. Welcome back. And so he is releasing a video very, very shortly. So keep a lookout for that. I'm looking forward to it. It's been such a long time since I have seen, you know, sort of, I do not wish to say something rude like meaningful content, but let's just say content based on a specific subject. I am quite looking forward to seeing that. So jump on and have a look. And have a look at the back catalogue as well. There's a lot of stuff there on Ritke Mod's channel. You know, old sort of iPod stuff and phone stuff and G5 stuff and G4 stuff. And to be honest, he's an absolute font of knowledge. So if anyone here has any questions, jump in and ask straight away before he runs away. Okay. I take it he missed my video from Tuesday. I must have done. Did you do a video on Tuesday? I know I did a, you did a I'm back video, but that wasn't, that's not the same as, oh, you're talking about the one where you went to, you're talking about the video on the motorbike. Yeah, I forgot about that one. Yeah, I saw that one. Did see that one. Sorry, I forgot about that. I guess probably what I mean by the videos is the stuff you shoot in the studio. You know, where you have bits in front of you and you talk about them and you mod them or you discuss the history or whatever. That's the sort of stuff I'm talking about. I know that you did the road trip vid. Watch that. Did watch that. But yeah, I was thinking more along the lines of the stuff in the studio. Okay. Okay. This is my second vid this week. Yep, I know. But as I said, the other one doesn't count. That was just a video on riding a Harley Davidson across the country. That's all that one was. What's the best way to clean corroded copper on Mac power supplies? I'm the worst person to ask because I generally just chuck things in the ultrasonic cleaner, which is cheating. Obviously things like deoxit and stuff people talk about for cleaning those, isopropyl alcohol. Now it smells like someone's burning something, or maybe I'm having a stroke. I think someone's having a barbecue and I think they've left whatever on there on a little bit too long. Toothbrush, getting a toothbrush into there. Some people have talked about using vinegar for really bad corrosion. I've never done it, but I've heard a lot of people say they've had a great deal of success with it. So, excellent. Strip parts, PDQ. Upgrade my PDQ to a faster G3. That is awesome. So the PDQ was the second revision of the Wall Street, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong there, Grudy, but there was the Wall Street, and then the Wall Street PDQ came out after that. So it was a faster version of the Wall Street G3 laptop, I think. Very nice computer, I have to say. They're lovely feel to them. I like using them. Right, so that's a bunch of 47 microfarad, 16 volt, stuck to the board, like that. Yes, sir. There's one there, there's one there, and there. The rest is 8, 10 microfarad, 16 volt. So let's get those out and start soldering. I bought a whole stack of these the other day because I've got so many LCs here to do at the moment, and they use so many of these caps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 8. Okay, here we go. What's making that noise? Is there something alive in here? Other than me, that is. Uh-oh, I've just started thinking about lunch. Getting distracted because I'm thinking about lunch. Wall Street 2, yep, cool. Not really original. Wow, okay, cool. A Game Boy back to life with vinegar. Well, there you go. Sesame Street indeed. I grew up with the old Sesame Street, as I'm sure a lot of people did. There were a few confusing things about it for me as a child. The fact that there were so many spelling mistakes in it. But then it was a realization that Americans spell things differently to us. Do. Kermit the Frog here. Hey ho. Okay. Just plonking these all in position. I'm probably wasting my time because I'll probably knock them off before I get to actually solder them, and I'll have to move them back again, but you know, hey ho. I used to use larger caps for these, and then I had a few people whinge to me on my website, sort of saying, "Oh, those caps are too hard to solder into that spot. They're too big." And so people started getting smaller ones. So I'm like, maybe I should get smaller ones as well. So, yeah. So, okay, let's get this one happening. Fudge. Oh, look at this. Another one. Tired of recapping? Hope not. I have an Amiga that's not going to recap itself. I ordered a capacitor kit from Coda to do it. Yes, I've done a few Amigas. Which one is it? Is it a 1200 or? That seems to be the one that I get the most of for recapping. Probably Amiga 1200 first and then Amiga 600 second. I have an Amiga 500. I'm thinking of selling it because it's just taking up space at the moment. I got it from Madeline McAndrews. Many of you may know Madeline. She's been on MacYak a few times. I did some recapping work for her. She got a bulk lot of computers, and when she came to drop one of them off for recapping, I said, "Oh, you got an Amiga 500?" She said, "Do you want to swap that for some recapping?" I'm like, "Yeah," because I was doing recapping of Amigas, and I thought I wouldn't mind learning a little bit more about them. So I got myself an Amiga, got myself a GoTech, which is a little floppy drive emulator. Loaded up a few games on there. It was excellent. I was very impressed. Very good little computer. But I just don't use it. I mean, I've barely got enough time to play with the vintage Macs I have. Whoopsie. I'm sure someone out there would appreciate it more than me. Amiga 1000. Okay. Now, one thing I can tell you is, based on my experience of recapping the things, the worst capacitor damage I have seen has been on the Amiga 600s. They're bad. I don't know enough about the 1000 to tell you much about that. I've never had one. Never had one cross the desk here. Ugh. None of the US Omega parts sellers had recapping kits for the 1000. See, I don't even have like any form of guide for a 1000. I don't even know what caps it needs. I keep a store of Omega caps around here somewhere. They're ones that were recommended by someone to use. They're like, yeah, the Omega, you gotta use these ones. And it was a kind of an information resource that everyone accepts as being the thing. So I'm like, okay, I will use the same. If that's what everyone accepts as right, then that's what we'll use. Phew, God, I thought I'd put that on crooked. It's alright, I haven't put it on at all. Everyone get a chance to catch the new video released by Dan from Canadian Computer Club. I released it. It was there for me when I woke up this morning. Of him using a 2009 iMac, I think it was. Intel Core 2 Duo 3.06 gigahertz, I think it was. And played a few games on it and whatnot. I watched that and I enjoyed it. I've got a board here of Dan's at the moment, which I am going to be working on in a pre-recorded video rather than a live stream, so people don't get to see it until I release the video. So I apologise for that. But the video will actually have a very specific topic, and that topic will be, I have recapped this board and it still doesn't work. What do I do next? Because that is one of the most common questions I get asked. I've just recapped this and it still doesn't work. What do I do now? And I sort of do have a set of steps that I generally follow when that happens. So I thought, well, I may as well do a video on it. Don't need to worry too much about the serial number on this one, seeing as I couldn't even read it when I started on it. Sticky stuff with gloves is awful. Okay, how are we doing here? Didn't Dan send you an SE30 board? No, it was a Color Classic board. I got an SE30 board from everyone else in the world, but no, Dan sent me a Color Classic. Who sent me an SE30 board? Joe, sort of. It still hasn't arrived yet. It's in the country, it's just not in my hands yet. So that's, yeah, hopefully that's coming soon. I need to reach out and get that happening. I've been so busy lately. My list of things to do is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Not enough hours in the day. Okay, so what's the next thing we do after we've finished putting all these caps on? Very important thing, we check. We check. There's a 47 microfarad 16 volt, that is correct, and the positive is down. That is a 10 microfarad, it's a 10, isn't it? 10 microfarad 16 volt, and the positive is up. Stripe being the positive, 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 positive. And then this one is another 47 here with a positive down, positive. This one is 10.6, positive on the right there. This one is a 1 microfarad 50 with a positive on the left. This one, 47, 47, 47. Right, all the caps are in place. We can probably give it a test now, but I will have to go up and get my LC power supply because I don't have it here. It's up in the house. Been working with my LC up there. I used to just keep a spare power supply down here, but I need to use it for something. Anyhow. Oh, let me just have a quick catch up on the chat before I get up and go get a power supply. Oh. It's across the continent. It's north north here, basically north from here. That's where the SE30 board is. So if you look at the map of Australia and you look at the eastern side, and you've got all the east coast down there. I'm down in Sydney, and the border's up in Ballina, which is a good, I think about 5-hour drive north of where I am. So yeah. Stephen's had strange issues with it. Pit Fermi, hello there, hello to you. I'm Bad Man. So, my resistor bender is Canadian, which will make it sound better. Canadian resistor. This is my resistor bender. I made it myself. It's not resistors, this is for capacitors. I don't work with resistors that much. A little bit here and there, but it's mainly capacitors that I get. All right, okay. Now, if you would all just excuse me for a couple of minutes while I go grab an LC power supply, and then we shall fire this up and see if it does anything interesting. Got myself a SCSI to SD. I should just mention that these SCSI to SD version 5.5s, which are currently not available in my online store, it's not my fault. They're unavailable at the moment. Hopefully they will come back and be available as soon. But at this particular point in time, can't get these. So, which is a shame. Yeah, but if anyone has been looking at my online store, I will have the version 5.2 and the version 6 in stock next week, I believe. So, right, okay. I shall be back in a moment, and then we shall do some testing. So, just hands on your volume controls in case this is loud. Listen to some sumptuous music until I return. Hello. Okay, so I've got myself an LC case here. I'll start off just by whipping out the power supply. And if it seems to work, we can then test the sound as well in the case. So there's the old LC pizza box configuration. Got a little bit of discoloration here from where the monitor was sitting. These ones aren't too bad with the plastic. Really interesting, worth noting that the LC, they don't fall apart like the LC475 does. Even though the cases look so similar, the plastic makeup is very, very different. So I need this. Look at this Recap 2021, but not by me. See, I don't have a fancy sticker. I need to get one. Right. Yeah, okay. Power supply. Computer can go out of the way. Bang. So because I can't connect up a speaker at this stage, we won't be looking out for a chime. Now, is this one of the computers that needs a battery inside? Is it? We'll put one in just in case, eh? We need the little thing. Crap, I've got no idea where it is. I need that stupid sync on green. Here it is. Found it. Everyone, call off the search. I found it. VRAM required. Yes, I've actually got some here, so bear with me just a sec. Worth noting that if you don't put VRAM in these, they will start up and you just won't get anything on the screen, or you get weird things, artifacts and stuff on the screen. So just be warned, everyone. Look at these RAM sims, eh? Cool. These look like a remake or something. Lifetime memory 1997. Huh. Huh. And we've got our for Mac LC only. If you put this in something that's not an LC, it'll turn it into an LC. Don't want that happening. Right. Sorry, right in the way of the air conditioner here. Got my little monitor here, which I'm sure people, if they've watched my live streams before, will have seen it before. This is a little testy screen. And then that, and that, and that, and that, and then we need some power. Want some electricity? You want some electricity? Fully recapped. Well, he even gave me a fully recapped power supply. Isn't that nice of him? All right, we ready? Steady, go. Oh, instantly got a video signal. That's a good sign. Video. So, oh yeah. Oh, look at that. What's going on there? There we go. There we go. There we go. Let's go to auto config. Auto config. Up. Okay. Auto configuring. There we go. Okay. Well, that looks. It's even booting. Look, it's booting off the. You can't see because it's too dark, but. I put that there and it might focus. There we go. Look at that. Welcome to Macintosh. So we have bootage, we have video. I didn't connect the bloody keyboard, so but we'll at least let it start up, and then I think I'll probably put it in that case and we can see if it makes noise. Oh man, I didn't even notice. I've got my 2 thumbs down. Thank you to whoever is doing the thumbs down. It makes me feel special. Makes me feel super special when people come on here and go to the trouble of thumbs downing my my videos. It's nice to have that sort of impact on people. I haven't done a smash that like button. You know, that thing's getting a bit overused. People are using on other channels, using my smash that like button. They're going,
smash that like button.
Willy-nilly. It's terrible, isn't it? All right, so let's switch this off. Let's check it with sound connected. And we will see if it's all working well. And if it is, then we consider this one all done. Got a little bit high there, didn't I? Right, move him out of the way. Let's change to the top view because it's a little bit more interesting. Love seeing that on the teeny screen. I do as well. I like the little tiny screen. Right, so let's disconnect that. But you don't need to disconnect that because I'm not going to be using it. Or that. Or that. So, we've got... Hey. 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 I can't... Hey, look, this one's got a connector for the fan and a connector for the speaker on the frickin' board. I can't even, oh man, I'm gutted. So this, yeah, so this particular LC is one of the later revisions. So this one here has, if we have a look at the front of the case, you'll see that It looks more like the LC2 where it has a completely solid piece of plastic here and then the hole for the floppy drive. The earlier LCs, they had 2 slots here. Now, what I have here is I have a later model LC, and they have already refined this board so that it has a plug on here for the speaker. And so, stupid. So I'm going to have to do some other fudging to figure this out. So hang on just a second. Just a second. Hold please. Hold please. Let's get this. These are crap. I mean that sincerely. Someone is remaking those VRAM sims. I saw them on Tindy? Tindy? I can't have having trouble reading that. Fairly priced too. Yes, that is correct. There is work being done. I've got 3 thumbs down now. God, today is my day. I don't think I've ever had 3. I must be really getting on people's nerves. It's fantastic. So there is a project around at the moment for the 512K VRAM sims, which is excellent. I love seeing that stuff getting redone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my multimeter things, if I can find them. Where on earth have I put them? Hold please. I put them up here. I mean, I should have put them up here, but I don't think I did. Nothing like a multimeter with no leads. Ah, here they are. I actually put them in a fairly logical place, which just confuses me, confounds me around doing logical things all over the place. That's not how it's done. Right. Let's go tippity tap, see that the multimeter is working. So what I want to do now is I want to just check and make sure which one is which. So the black, black, okay, and then the red, okay, black, red, red one, black, red, one black, red, one black, one red, one red, black, red. All right, so I want to get a speaker. I think I'll find a speaker here. I'm just thinking if I put, how am I going to do this? Let's get some things here. Here we go. This will do. So we're going to do a little bit of a kind of a bodge job here. I mean, it's not really, but this is what we're going to do. We're going to solder these on here so that I can then connect a speaker to it. Wrong mouse. Right. Let's do it. Let's do it. Come on. Come on. Oh, Jesus. I'm doing this left-handed. It's not easy. And, of course, this pin is as dirty as anything. So the solder ain't sticking to it very well. Remember me say something about that just a little while ago? Oh, I think they're on. It's the ugliest bit of soldering I've ever done, but they don't have to be good. They don't have to be good. So let's just see that we've got... Yep. Right, so then I grab a speaker, like this one here, and I connect this up so the blue is pretending to be black today, and the green is pretending to be red. playing jazz ups. Right. Excuse me, going to get back to the top view here. Got our monitor. I might actually even connect the keyboard up this time. Crazy. This is crazy talk, Rain. Crazy. Right, there we go. Let's see if we get a chime. Didn't get a chime. I mean, I don't know if it's because of my really pokey... Does this speaker even work? Answer me that. Yep, that's right. What speaker do they normally use? It is a 16 ohm. That's nice and normal. Are there Mac models that require their own unique speaker due to impedance? Yes, there are. I mean, you can put other speakers on there and you still will get sound out of them, but there is, for example, this little guy here from an SE and from a Plus, and it is 63 ohms. 63 ohms. Huh. Okay. Okay, so I am definitely making contact with the speaker. Now, is the LC one of these computers that won't give you sound unless it's grounded in the case? Because I know some of them are like that. I can test that with the known working one over there. But anyhow, I'll switch it on again. Yeah. Oh, got a chime. Obviously just wasn't making proper contact. So that is what we in the business call a successful recap. So just mentioning with the speakers, that one that I just talked about, the 63 ohm, I have been able to find a 50 ohm speaker that I use as a replacement for failed speakers on those models. So the models we're talking about are 128K, 512K, 512KE, Mac Plus, I think Classic 2, SE and SE30. I'm pretty sure they're all the compact Macs that use that 63 ohm speaker. And I replaced them with a little 50 ohm speaker. It's not exactly the same size, it's slightly smaller. And for that reason, you can't mount it using the same holes. Having said that, I should probably make a 3D printed bracket, shouldn't I? Because that's my thing. And I've found those little 50 ohm speakers work quite well in place of those 63 ohm, nice and loud. They're all good. And of course, if you really do want to get that impedance the same, you can always whack on a resistor. Get like a little 12 or something on there, take it up to 62, something like that. Why is the screen solid white? That's because of the auto brightness of this camera is brightening itself to this and not to this. If I actually grab that and do that, it'll adjust to this and you'll see, yay, look at what we're doing here. Let's just have a quick look and see what the memory count is on this fella. Just waiting. It's still, you can't, you see the light on the Scully 2SD? It's doing things. It's probably fixing the issues that I might have caused by switching it off without shutting it down properly last time. Classic does use 63 and mine is dead. Yeah, so this is the one that I use as a replacement. It's not in the box. Is this one in the box? This one's in the box. I've got one floating around somewhere that I use for testing. So this is the one, Visiton. I buy them from, it's a K50, I guess, 5 centimeter, 2 inch Kleinlautsprecher. Lautsprecher. I assume that means speaker. That's it there. And I buy these from RS Components. You can probably buy them from other places as well. And as you can see, it's just a nice little, oh crap, everything falling down. Nice little, swear words, little speaker, nice size. As you can see, it is a little smaller. Smaller is better than larger in my opinion, and generally if you can just mount these with a little bit of hot glue, hold them in there in place, works quite well. So they're what I use as a replacement for these when they go. And they do go. These old 63 ohm ones do go. They're at that age. I remember having a, let's call it an argument with someone on Facebook where someone was talking about having a Macintosh Plus, I think it was, or whatever it was. It might have been a classic with no sound. And I said, you know, grab yourself a multimeter, put them across the contacts of the speaker and measure the resistance. And if it's saying that it's open, your speaker's gone. And the guy's like, oh no, it won't be the speaker. Those speakers never go on those things. And I'm like, well, dude, they do, because I have to replace them all the freaking time. And then sure enough, it was the speaker. And then he was like, oh gosh, I didn't, that surprises me. I didn't realize. Okay, so we are just checking to see what we've got in the way of memory about this Macintosh. We are booted it into 7.1. We've got 10 megs in there. That is the limit of this thing. So I think it's got 2 on board. Is that right? I can't remember. Can't remember with the old LC. But anyhow, we are maxed out. I think 10's as far as you can go in these, or is it 12? Anyhow. Okay, so that's it. We've got noise, we've got computerage, we've got screen, we've got everything. It's being an LC. It's allowed to have fun and be an LC again. So let's get this one out of the way and call it done. Now I probably won't do much more today. I do have, as I mentioned before, I've got quite a lot going on at the moment, so I wanted to at least get something out today. Have a little bit of fun, but yeah, just a lot of time constraints at the moment. So, okay. Oh, I got 4 thumbs downs now. I swear I am going places today. That has got to be a record for me. Thank you to everyone who did the thumbs ups, by the way, as well as the people who've done the thumbs down. I shouldn't just be paying attention to the ones doing the thumbs down. The thumbs up, guys. Thank you as well. Okay. Looks like I joined at the tail end. Well, Sonny, I'll see if I can just try and do something interesting before finishing. How about that? Whee. Sonny, what did you buy from me the other day? Whatever it was, I sent it off, I think on Friday. Was it a blue SCSI, I think? Good. All right, so I'm going to whip all these things out. I'm reading the chat kind of backwards, looking at people answering questions from earlier, and I'm sort of trying to find them, and they're just getting too hard for my poor little brain to cope with. So if anyone has any specific questions, please feel free to ask them, and you can always put the little at Brankus Creations at the beginning to try and get my attention. But yeah. External case for my Plus works a treat. Excellent, excellent. So there already, that's fantastic. All right, so this one's going to go over here into the ultrasonic cleaning pile. Oh, I better take the little things I sold it off first. There we go. And clean off that excess solder. Solder. I'm making nachos for dinner tonight. Looking forward to that. Yummy. Solder. You know what I'm going to have to do now? I'm going to have to retin all of them, otherwise they'll look different. They don't look too bad. They're pretty closely matched, to be honest. You know, it's times like this when you look at something and you suddenly realize that you can't just leave it, and you're going to have to grab some flux and you're going to have to properly tin these and make them look nice, because you just realize how bad they look, and your ridiculous standards won't allow you to leave it as it is. I can't really use pod style headphones. I just noticed there's a little bit of chat in the, a little bit of talk in the chat window about AirPods and that. I can't really use bud earphones at all. My ears aren't compatible with them, so I have to use ones that go over your head, over your ears. There we go. There was a nice little exercise there. Like 2 minutes of my life I will not get back, but they're clean. And they all look the same now. Isn't that interesting? So I can only use the other ones. I'll tell you what, these ones here that I've got over here, these are rubbish. I got them free or something, I'm not sure, but they're rubbish, and these really do hurt me. It hurt my ears when they've been on for a while. They're so friggin' uncomfortable. But they're just the spare ones that I have for testing things. The ones I actually use normally are Sennheiser, and they're incredibly comfortable. Love them. And they sound spectacular. I've never really had an issue with the sound quality of Sennheiser. Sometimes the build quality is a bit crade, but the sound quality is exceptional, in my opinion. IMHO. Okay, just looking here. All right, so the only other thing that I wanted to have a real quick look at was this one here. This is an SE30 that someone sent to me and I've been working on, and it sort of works. It's already been recapped, which is nice. I don't have to, already been recapped by me. The job has been done, so that's all good. But when I connect it up, I get horizontal stripes and I get a weird sort of a chime. So it chimes, it goes bing, so you get the normal chime sound, bing, and then it makes a sound that sounds like the RAM failure, but instead of just that do-do-do-do, it does an initial chime at the start. It goes ding, do-do-do-do, and so it's an unusual chime. It's a different chime to the one I'm used to, and it's obviously telling me that something else is wrong with it, but I just don't know what. Now, I guess a few of the things that I could potentially try is I can try swapping some of these socketed chips over with a known good board. I could swap over the CPU, or I could swap over some of these ROMs and see if they make a difference. I've got the VROM here. VROM? video ROM, yeah, right there. I have already replaced a couple of chips here in the U row, the U8 row. So we've got these chips. We've got UA9, so hang on, UA8, UA9, hang on, UA8, UB8, UC8, D8, UE8, UF8, UG8. And I've replaced a couple of those because they looked really cruddy. And it's still the same, and I'm probably be inclined to replace the rest of them. I took off one of these serial chips because it was really ugly. And yeah, I don't know. It's that the slightly different chime is the thing that freaks me out a bit. No sound that's been recapped and tested the entire sound circuitry. It could well be, well, obviously check the speaker for starters. That's number one. The other thing to do is to check it with headphones. So plug into the headphone socket and see if you're getting any sound from that. If you're not getting any sound from the headphone socket, it could well be one of these sound chips. There's two of them there, that one there and that one there. And it could well be, I mean, it could be a damaged trace, but if you've gone through and you've checked all of that, you know, it could actually be one of these sound chips. They do fail. I've got some spares, so. Duke the Cat. Yeah, I did read it though. My telephone is ringing. They told me it was Chairman Mao. That's a reference to something. Okay, so I have on this resoldered the glue chip. It's ringing me up at this hour. No one rings me up on Sunday. So I've resoldered the glue chip. I've replaced two chips here. I have resoldered the serial chip just because it looked ugly. I haven't done anything to the SCSI chip in it, but it looked a little bit crunchy. Just have a look at that in the microscope. So this is the SCSI chip here, and as you can see, these pins look pretty crunchy, but I do believe they're all making contact. They don't look like any of them are kind of not attached. And of course on this board, it's all over the place. There are little dots. Now, so far, not one of those dots has resulted in a broken trace. But you never know. So I mean, you can see, I'll show you, I'll give you an example of a dot right here. Where is it? Where is it, I told you? Here it is. Okay, so you see these little dark bits between the trace and the pad, right there. Now when you scrape that, you find that you've got good copper underneath. This is something Jay, of course, has been experiencing a lot of. You know, you have these little spots on the traces, and then you can clean them off, and it's not actually a break in the trace. And this one has lots of those, quite a lot of those little dots that I've been going around and scraping and trying to check. But oh my God, there's a critter! Oh, he went away. Shy critter. So anyhow, normally with one of these, if you had a problem with the RAM, you would get the sad Mac RAM sound first. You don't get a chime. This one I get a chime first. So let's get the thing out, and we'll just fire it up so you can hear what I'm talking about. That one. I'm just gonna move this out of the way. Oh, excuse me. Oh, oh, that's heavy. Either that or I'm not very strong. One of the two. Okay, so I've got me here a Mac SE, but it's the power supply and the little umbilical cable are the same, so it doesn't matter that it's an SE. It will still work to power this SE30 board. We have a ROM sim in here. We have RAM, so we've got all we need to actually test it out. And we will get this. Which way around did I do it? I think I was facing that way. It gives me more cable space. Yeah. There we go. So I'm going to connect up the speaker. because it is all about the sound with this one. And connect the power umbilical. And I'll change the camera view so that you can at least see the front. There we go. All right, so we've got that, and let's just plug him in and let's listen to the sound that we get. Chime, boing, hear that? It's a very different chime to the normal unhappy RAM sound. It's that bum bum. Don't normally get that. And we got the chime to start off with. So, to know. I probably do need to go and have a look at the paperwork and see if there's anything that might clue me in. It's weird, isn't it? It's definitely something there. I mean, I guess the good thing about it is it's failing some sort of self-test. So if I can find out what that self-test is, it'll clue me in to what has actually failed. Excuse me. Okay. Oh, I don't know. Album cover is a Beatles reference. Can you at least give us a clue, Joe? Like what decade, maybe? Oh. Oops, didn't connect it from the power. Disconnect. Excuse me. So, this is the problem we have with this particular computer, and I can just keep trying to search to find a problem with it somewhere. Adam McGee, hello there. Expecting in the mail. Has the same horizontal stripes. Yeah, there are lots and lots of things that can actually cause those horizontal stripes. The thing that is different about this one to the other ones that I've worked on is that bloody chime. And once I know what it is, it's great. I'll know what it is for next time. But I've never freaking heard that chime before. John Roberts, hello. 1988. Oh, okay. That's my era. Yeah, you know what? I actually have some documentation here on the SE30, so I'm going to have a look here just very quickly at my documentates. And we'll go here to Dropbox, and we'll go to Mac Technical Files. That's what we've got here. And then I think it's in that one, isn't it? Mac Service Guides, that's it. SE30. I'm looking at the service guide for the SE30. Hopefully this will give us some sort of clue. I wonder if I can even share this. I might even be able to share this. I have the tools, though maybe not the talent. Live, and let's just go to share. Oh, look at that. Show, current application, show, preview. Oh, that's what it's showing me. Okay, so this is it here. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. Let's do this. You can't resize it on the bloody preview there. Okay. So I hope you guys can see that. SE30 basics, overview, service source, memory, expandable to 32 megabytes. Boy, if only they knew. Okay, so is there somewhere, so troubleshooting, here we go. Symptom charts, there we go, let's have a look. Screen is dark, audio and drive operate, turn brightness control clockwise. That's a good one to know, that one. Screen is completely dark, fan is not running. Single vertical line is displaying, single horizontal line is displaying. Vertical bars or stripes are displayed. Horizontal bars or stripes are replaced. Logic board, retain customers' SIMs. They're not exactly into the whole component level replacement here, are they? Cursor does not move, cursor moves. Can I double click? Known good laser printer. Geez, it'd be nice if it told me the chime. Disk ejects. No. Clicking, chirping, or thumping sound. No. Smoke, got a no video, no. Sad Macintosh icon. Sad Macintosh icon. And black vertical lines. Replace logic board. Oh, that's it. That's it. There was nothing about the chimes at all. Piffle. Mad. Upset. Alright. Is there anything else here at the end? Oh, this is all pull apart stuff. And that's checking the battery replacement, adjustments. Yeah, we all know about that. Alright, so we got nothing on that stupid chime. So there. Darn it. Audio engineering on OU812 is a little weird, flat. It's funny, I'm a huge fan of like 1984, but never really got into OU812. A couple of tracks on it I don't mind, but yeah. Oh, yes, it is a fixed data. We've moved on to something else now. I'm actually looking at SE30 board, which is making stupid noises. So, is the jumper for ROM, which jumper? There's no jumper. What say you, sir? No jumper on this one. I just feel like the fact that we're getting a chime, you know, it's not likely to be an issue with the CPU. That's my general feeling, is that we're getting too much going on here for it to be the CPU. It's not the ROM, I know that because I've tried a different ROM. And I get the same issue. It's not the RAM, I've tried different RAM. I don't know. I mean, we could try replacing these guys, maybe, and this guy. I don't know. I suppose we may as well while we're here, eh? Where's my other SE30 board? Where? Check wrong seating. Yeah, no, it's the ROM's fine. See, the thing is that if the ROM wasn't seated properly, I wouldn't be getting that first chime. That first chime would just be not there. So I'm feeling like it's not that. This is my SE30 board. As you can see, I've got a few of my little 3D printed clips for holding ROM sims in and stuff like that, because they break, and then you've got my little 3D printed things to hold them in the absence of the actual clips. And I've got the same here for RAM. So we've got this guy here. We can try swapping that over. I can't swap the CPU. This one is soldered as opposed to socketed, so that won't be happening. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. All right, let's whip this little socketed chip out just cause. Just cause. And I know what I'm going to end up having to do. I'm going to end up having to swap over a whole bunch of chips until I eventually figure out which one it is, and then I'll be able to go, next time, if that happens, I'll know exactly what to do straight off, instead of having to do 50 million different things first. The CPU remover. It's fallen off the table at some stage, I'm guessing. That's a very common thing happening around here. I suppose we can just Oh, this might do. It's not actually the one I want to use, but it is a CPU remover, or not CPU, an IC remover. Doesn't have a memory management chip on the board. I don't think so. You've got the RAM. It might have. I need to pull out the schematic for that. Wonder if it's the math code processor. I'm just wondering whether that could be what the chime is, if it's actually going through some sort of self-test, whether it might be failing the 68882. What do people think about that? Huh? Huh? And I've got plenty of spare 68882s that I can put in there. And we do have a few messy bits here. I just sort of feel like if they've done some sort of self-test that warrants its own chime, you sort of feel like something like the 6882 could be it. Is anyone else here with me? Is anyone else on the same thinking? Come on, smart people. I had something similar happen, bad FPUs. So I guess there's no harm in trying it, seeing as I've got spares. Let's do that, shall we? Yes, let's do that. I just need to find everything. Does anyone know if the SE30 will run without an FPU on the board? If you just lift it off, will it work? Does anyone know that? I know that's the sort of thing that people might ask me. I've got no idea. We could try, I guess. Is the FPU soldered? Yes, it is. But thankfully, it is a PLCC chip. And I could actually put a socket on. I wonder if the socket would fit. No, actually, no, I've only got through-hole sockets for those, I think. I don't think I have any surface mount ones. Yeah. Oh man, I'm really struggling here with finding what I want. There it is. Hidden. I need more of these things. Alright, so let's just have a look here. Look for anything that might look like a break. So one of the things that did happen with this one, I noticed this on this particular computer, was there has been some physical damage to the board, and that's what we see here. At some stage, someone has scraped something along there, but all this copper seems to be intact. There's no real evidence that there's a break there. Oh, you're not even looking at my microscope view. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. PLCC sockets are a lot of work to put on. I've never actually put on a surface mount one. I want to now, though. I really do. All right, so we're going to do two things here as an experiment. First thing we're going to do is we're going to whip off the FPU, and we're going to try it without it on, because my goodness, we're rebellious. We're rebellious in this part of the world. Ah, disable. Okay, that sounds to me like it might be a Joe video. Was that a Joe video? I'm just going to whip it off because that's how I do things around here. You know, Bruce, you can actually just disable that FPU with one wire. Oh, really? I'm just going to whip it off. Is that all right? You're fine if I just take the whole thing off, aren't you? Yeah. The truth is, I want to check under it as well. So I'm gonna. Off she comes. Potentially relevant comment alert. It was a Joe video, I thought so. That sound on Mac 2 could be issue with RAM bank B, so maybe it's still something related to RAM. Guess it could be sockets, traces, or supporting ICs. Okay, but I've got no RAM in B. That's the only thing. But I still like the idea. That could well be it. I mean, there's nothing in B. There's nothing in B. Unless we're talking about some damage here somewhere. We've only got RAM in A. I have tried this with RAM in B as well. So with RAM in or out of B. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm just looking around here and all of the traces and everything around the RAM look really good. And I guess it could be one of these things. One of these little guys, whatever they are. They're D-muxes or something like that. Mux chips. Could be one of those. Maybe. Possibly. I don't know. But anyhow, you know what I've done now? I've taken off the FPU. So we're committed to that. I haven't seen Trina in a while, no. A Mac 2 needs RAM in both banks to work though, except that it doesn't. It might, maybe with the RAM you're using, but I have definitely run, I've definitely run a Mac 2 with only 4 chips in it, or 4 SIMs in it. It is possibly something to do with the SIMs you are using, because the Mac 2 is so unbelievably finicky with RAM. But I have definitely run a Mac 2 with only 4 in it. Everything looked great underneath the chip, so, you know. It's been fun though, hasn't it? Whipping it off there. I enjoyed it. Hope you did. All right. I so want to see what happens when I switch this on without an FPU on it. Fun little experiments in life. Put a socket on. I don't have one. I've only got through-hole sockets. I don't have a surface mount socket for this size PLCC chip. So I don't think I do anyway. I'm going to check, but I mean, it's the logical thing to do, stick a socket on there. But I don't think I have one to stick. Just cleaning these up all ready for us putting a new one. I will check for the benefit of everyone here yelling at the screen that whether I have a socket, a surface mount PLCC socket. All right, here's the fun bit. Let's try it out without a FPU on there. You got a weird definition of fun there, Rain. Okay. Goodwick. Goodwick. Right, up comes the board. And let's plug in the sound. This is just me experimenting. I've got no idea what's going to happen with this, but I just want to know. Chimed. Still got the ding. So So I'm feeling like I probably need to pull out the schematic and start having a look at the B-bank RAM stuff, because it does to me anyway make perfect sense that chime would be something warning an issue with the second bank of RAM. Boots without FPU though? Yes, it does indeed. Do I just put the old FPU on, or do I put a new one on? That's the question. Old FPU, new FPU. Old FPU, new FPU. What do you reckon? I know everyone's going to say socket. Get a socket. Let's see if I have a socket. I honestly don't think I have any surface mount sockets at all. But I am looking. I'm looking to keep everyone happy. Because that's what we do here. Keep everyone happy. It's an outrageous claim. Can't back that up. What do we got here? Lots of spare things. I definitely have cornered the market on spare things. Just bear with me a second. There's some more spare things. All right. We could look at the conditions that cause different chimes. Yes, it would be good if we had that, but we don't. All right, here's all my sockets. Well, here's some of my sockets. Yeah, through hole. I knew I do have some more somewhere else as well, but I can't find them. But yeah, I only got through hole. Sorry, I have checked. I did look. Well, I guess what I can always do is I can put the new FPU on. If it's still stuffed, then I know that this FPU is fine. And I can FPU something else with it. Get off. Now, is this a fake chip or is it the real deal? Looks real. That stuff's not screen printed on. Yep. Now, let's make sure I get the orientation right on this one. There we go. Okay, we are not even looking at the camera. That's something I'm getting quite good at. Alright, so we're going to solder this little guy on. When I'm working with PLCC chips, I generally start at one corner. I try and get these lined up as best as I can. I then solder one pin, just one. So that's now, that pin is soldered. And then I go around to the other side and I check and make sure that we're lined up on this side as well, and then I do one pin from this side. Like that. There we go. So we're now tacked on. I can then do a complete side. I'll do one of the sides that I haven't tacked, like this one here. It might look out of alignment, and that's because of the eye you're looking through. I'm seeing in stereo, you guys are seeing in mono. Doing a nice little bit of drag soldering here. Got a nice big bridge at the end here, but we can resolve that with a little bit of extra flux. Now what I'm not looking forward to, not one little bit, is soldering that side there, because I'm right next to the plastic. I don't like it, don't want a part of it. I suspect RAM bus problems. Yeah, I'm really starting to suspect exactly the same thing, Joe. What I'm doing at the moment is I'm doing that classic thing where I'm killing time. I'm soldering on PLCs here, and it makes it look like I'm doing things. I'm like, yeah, this is weird, we've got to stick this there, shit, it's cool, it's great. When in actual fact, I know that what I'm going to have to do next is get out the schematic and go and do some of that actual diagnostic work where I use my brain. And most of the time, I tend to actually do most of those on live stream. And it's mainly because while I'm doing that stuff, I think, and the next thing you know, I'm not talking. And you're basically just staring at some, fat old bald dude who's thinking. And so, when it's just something where I'm doing almost by automation, it works really well for the live stream because I can just talk while I'm doing it, like I am doing here and creating bridges on this chip. But once we get to actually going through and testing and diagnosing, then it starts to become even more boring than it is today. Damn, I'm having so much trouble getting a nice finish on these. Just keep losing the flux. Don't lose the flux, folks. There we go. And the last side. No, it's not. That's the last side. On the bright side of things, I have lots of spares of these little guys, these little F258s. So if there's an issue with one of those, I can replace those because I have them. I don't have replacements of these little resistors, but I can steal them from somewhere else probably. Let's have a look at this soldering job and see if I managed to bridge any pins, because I suspect I have. That's nice. That's nice. That's nice. And that's nice. Okay. So we're all good. Let's just fire it up just to see if it still chimes, because, it might blow up. I can bodge a replacement. Yeah, I'm good at that. Okay, let's get the board. I'm a good bodge man. This will probably be the last, because as I say, the next step is to actually go in and start using my friggin' brain. I thought I was going to be able to give it a day off today. I like watching people think. Okay, switching them on. Now it doesn't even chime. So, which suggests to me that I did bodge up something with the with putting this on. Either that or this FPU is stuffed. But either way, it's not chiming anymore. So we'll just he broke it for my house to fix it. Now this is getting hot. Which means I've probably bridged a pin somewhere. As I say, either that or the chip is stuffed, but either way, now's around about that time you think to yourself, gosh, it'd be good if I had a socket. This is another one of these, what's the word I use? Retrogressive repair, where the more you play with it, the worse it gets. Microscope. I think the soldering is okay, which suggests to me that the chip is problematic. That's the wrong one. Did anyone see a bridge there? Anyone? Which basically means that chip stuff. So I'm going to just put the other one on. Came for the soldering. Well, there you go. We're going to get to see a bit more because I'm going to whip this guy off that I just put on, and I'm going to put the original one back on. And I'm going to probably mark this particular FPU as not working because I'm quite confident in the soldering there. This one with the fresh solder should come off a little quicker and easier. Ooh, 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 ooh. Fake or a faulty chip? I would say it is one or both. I am, as I say, I am at this stage pretty sure the fault is with the chip. It has happened to me before. I keep a supply of FPUs here, and I have had times where I've said to someone who might have a Color Classic, hey, you want me to drop an FPU in there? And they go, yeah, that'd be great, thanks. So I drop an FPU in there and it doesn't work. I take the FPU off, I put another one in, and it does work. So I obviously just got, in the batch that I got, there are some that are not right. Oh, stupid. Stupid. I rested it up and the solder hardened on the other side. So we're putting the other one back. We're just disregarding the FPU. We're going to stick to Adam's suggestion of the RAM bank, something to do with RAM bank B. And so I'm probably going to have to go in and start investigating what's going on there. But I can't guarantee I'm going to keep doing that right now. I may end up ending the stream because it's lunchtime. It's early. Just grab the schematic, glass of wine, and get to it. Yeah. Well, there is this whole thing that I mentioned at the beginning of the live stream about the pressure I have been getting about doing a video on ultrasonic cleaners and building my own ultrasonic cleaner. And I had planned to actually work on that this afternoon. I'm going to do a bit of voiceover. I'm going to sit there in front of my microphone and say, "Hi there. Thank you. My name is Bruce Rain from Brankus Creations. Thank you for joining me. In this video, we will be looking at ultrasonic cleaners." Are you aware of the dangers? Would you know an ultrasonic cleaner if you saw one? Sweet spot with the alcohol, yeah, that's like the playing pool, isn't it? You know, you get the perfect amount of alcohol when you're playing pool and you start playing really well. But if you drink too much, you start playing like crap again. I'm just taking off any of the excess salt. I'm putting the original FPU back on, and I'm just taking off any of the solder sticking out the bottom that might stop it from sitting flush on the board before I solder it. I don't need to take all the solder off, I just want it to be able to sit flush. And then once I hit it with a soldering iron, any of the rest of the stuff will just get melted in. Okay. Alrighty then. Okay, we're going to pop this chip back on, and then we'll just confirm we're getting the same noise, and then I may open up the schematic. I may. So what have we got? We've got these guys. Don't want to make me use my brain. I've often thought about sometimes whether it'd be easier to just have one extra board of things. So let's say an SE30 comes in, someone comes in, oh, my SE30 doesn't work. And then I have a working one, so I then just swap over the RAM and then send them back with the one that I've repaired, and then have that one and put that to one side to repair it for the next one. So like a swap over thing, and then just repair them in my own time. exchange program, SE30 exchange program. I just dropped some tweezers. Is that a bridge? That was a bridge. Nice big bridge. Got a bridge there. Solder, the flux is just disappearing. I really don't have a good angle for soldering these pins. Crap. Crap. Let's hope they're good. Don't look at those ones. Okay, I'll have a closer look at that later. Nice. 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 Ish. Nice. All right, let's check and make sure that it's still as broken as it was before and not more broken. Oh my goodness. Oh, my back's getting a bit sore. I suspect that may be the deciding factor in me getting up. Sore back. Plug it in. Plug it in. Hey, it's normal broken again. Suddenly a sore back before schematic time. You think I'm dodging it, do you, Jay? All right, okay. Let's have a look. I'm going to bring up the schematic. Let's see if I can share it with folks as well. What have we got? Max 68K schematics. SE, big shout out to Elemento for his redraw of the SE30 schematic. You are an absolute legend, my friend. All right. Anyone else see that? Oh, crap. Okay, I'm going to move over here. I can't see it for crap. My eyes are terrible. Whoa. Okay, glue and RAM sims. There we go. So the RAM sims go to the glue. And then we've got some ROM and RAM address muxes. Okay. Okay. So let's have a look here. We've got... Oh God, I can't read this. It's outrageous. My rage is blowing gauges. Okay, there's the ROM. Okay, so that's, I'm just, I can't read the chat while I'm doing this, by the way, so if you're just there saying, hey, look at that one, it ain't happening. So we've got, sorry folks. So that'll be RAM A, that'll be RAM B. So this is RAM B, I'm guessing. Is that right? Am I right? So that will be, that's the resistors there, and then we have these are the mux chips here, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So what is that? U13? U13. I think. U13, I think. I don't friggin' know. Okay, I'm going back to the chat now because I bet you someone else is looking at this and going, hey, you know what you need to do there and check this. So I'm going to just go back here and see if someone else has got any awesome suggestions for me. Hey Charlie, how's it going? Okay, so let's just jump back here and look at my, let's go to my, hey, no, that one, yeah. Go back to the microscope. Looking to see if there's anything that looks like it might be scary. I can't find that schematic. I know I had it, but where? Oh, shall I just send it to you, good sir? Jay wants to play along at home. I welcome that. Jay has definitely spent a fair bit of time looking through schematics. So the general feeling would be that if we're going to be having issues with, well, so there are a few things that bother me. The one thing that bothers me is the fact that I'm getting this error even with no RAM in it. That bothers me. It bothers me a lot. I have got a hair from my moustache that is curling up and going up my nostril, and it is driving me bananas. So stop it. So the first thing that bothers me is the fact that I'm having grief with the RAM, even when the thing is switched off. I mean, not sorry. Even when there's no RAM in it, nothing wrong with me. I'm just talking gibberish now. You know, just so often with these things, the problem is trace damage. It's not these components. The only time I've ever had to replace one of these was when it was rusted through and a pin fell off. I just would not have expected these to fail. You know. One of the annoying things about the SE30 is the fact that it has data layers inside. It doesn't just have like ground and volt inside and inner layers. It's actually got data layers inside the board. So I think it's a 6-layer board, I think. Oh, excuse me. Goodness me. I'm definitely ready for a nap. Don't see any problems around here. I know that some of these address lines are in inner layers, but once again I don't see any corrosion around these that is likely to be causing a problem. All around this part, this is where it's all clean. Okay, so I want to just do something here quickly. So I'm not even looking at the chat at the moment. What kind of idiot doesn't look at the chat? This kind. Right. Does it have the same partial chime then death chimes when it's on and reset button is pressed? Yes, that is correct. It does exactly the same when I switch it on. Oh, Steve, hello. What are you doing here? I thought you were meant to be on holidays. What's going on? I thought you were meant to be having fun out there, out and about, away from all this stuff. But welcome, thank you. We're working on an SE30 that does something stupid. Now, we're all familiar with the sad Mac chimes. You switch the computer on and it goes da-ding, da-da-da-ding, da-da-da-ding. Now, this one here, it chimes first and then it makes another sound, da-ding, da-da-da-ding. Now, I think it was Adam mentioned that he has heard that sound before on his Mac 2 when it was having problem with RAM in Bank B. But this computer has no RAM in Bank B, which suggests that there's a problem somewhere else. Now I'm literally getting ready to just start replacing chips on this thing because it's pissed me off. Yeah, that's kind of where we are at the moment. So if I take all the RAM out, which I've just done, I want to demonstrate the situation here. I can't think of what's it. Maybe time to switch to scope cam. Yeah, sorry. I've finished now. But wasn't that mean of me? Terrible. Did I recap it? Yes, I did. Sure did. Yeah. Incidentally, this was doing this before it got recapped. So recapping made no difference to its behaviour. None whatsoever. So I've taken all the RAM out, and I know what you're thinking. Bruce, what the hell did you do that for? That's just stupid. But I want to switch it on, and what I would expect with no RAM in it is it will immediately make the sad Mac chime. I expect it to go. Okay. Starts with that duh, 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 duh. Now, we're going to switch him off, and we're going to put that RAM in bank A. I have to unplug this to do this. Try resetting PRAM on switch on. I haven't got a battery in it, so... So we put this RAM in. We put this RAM in there, just up there like that there. Okay, so now when we switch it on, we don't immediately get the sad Mac chime. We get... you gotta plug it in. It's funny how it works like that. It's weird. We get chime, and then doo-ding, doo-ding. So we're getting a sad Mac chime, but we're getting it starting with a high note rather than a low note. Now, Adam came in and he said that is what happens on his Mac 2 when it is complaining about problems with RAM in bank B. Sometimes PRAM will get corrupted. Oh, all right, just to make you happy. Switch him off for this, eh? Where's the... I can never get it right when I'm looking at it backwards. Okay, keyboard in. I'm doing this just for Mr. Fahrenheit. No, doesn't get that far. Does not get that far. Okay, so look, I definitely think we're onto the right track. I definitely think it is related to something to do with the bank B of RAM. But the problem I have with that is the fact that there's no RAM in there. We know it's not a fault with the RAM, which means it is some other fault in there that it is recognizing. God, that's a weird sounding plane. I hope it's not in trouble. Has this board been ultrasonic cleaned yet? Yes, it has. Having said that, I've got it pretty dirty since then, but yeah, I did clean it. If someone can find the file... Oh, watch. Joe, I'm tasking you with that job. It sounds to me like you've got everything you need to find that. Okay, it's an equivalent series resistance error. Yeah. Try filling both sides with RAM. I will do that. I will do that to keep everyone happy, because otherwise they'll be asking all the time. I have done it before though, but we will do it. If I can friggin' find some RAM. I had some here. Here we go, found it. Found the RAM, guys. So here's some extra RAM. Got four tasty looking Sims here. That one and that one look the same. That one and that one look the same. Okay. So we're going to stick another 4 ones in. And load up this, and I can tell you what happens, because I have done this before and I know what will happen. It does exactly the same thing. So this is the thing, it's giving that error about the bank B, whether there's RAM in it or not. And you know what? When I figure this out, I'm going to kick myself. It's going to be like, oh, obvious. Duh. And So yeah, exactly the same whether we have RAM in or not. Component UH7, page 2, appears to be the RAM banks together with the ROM, worth a closer look. UH7. I think hang on. I need my glasses. I mean, I know I've got my glasses on. I don't want people to write letters and say, you said you need your glasses, and yet I saw you had your glasses on. I mean ones with better magnification. Anyone write letters anymore? Okay. Joe found it. UH7. Joe found it. Of course he did. UH7. UH7. There he is. I see UH7. He's only a little guy. Hey there, little guy. It's him there. Let's have a look at these pins at the bottom. Oh God, I haven't got the microscope view on again. Oh, I haven't got the microscope view. I haven't got the microscope view. The microscope view is gone. I will restore it, don't worry. But I do need to do this. Otherwise our white balance will be out. Come on. Hey, there we go. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so this is a little UH7 that Jay was referring to, and we do have some corrosion around here, but I don't know that we've got a break. We will check. I'm waiting to see what Joe's going to bring to the party. I have high hopes. Okay, during RAM test, call beep approximately. Call beep appropriately and display error. Yeah, sorry about that. So basically what happened with the microscope cam is the connection got... So even when I was selecting microscope view, you were still getting my stupid face. Wow, look at this. What have you given me here, Joe? Okay, interesting. Right, so intently concentrating face. All right, so we're just going to have a look at this little guy here, as he is involved with the RAM and the glue and whatnot, and we'll just see if there's anything that looks nasty. Where are you, you little thing, you? Excuse me. Sorry about that, folks. Okay. 32 downloads that file jigs. That's funny. Let's see why it looked a bit corroded on the first edge. Yeah, I mean, there's a bit of ugliness there, but I have scraped it. I've definitely got copper going on, so... I feel so much better when I just find a great big broken trace somewhere and I go, yay, it's a freaking broken trace. Fix it. Yay, fix it. But with this one here, I have not found one single broken trace on the whole thing. Sure, I found little areas that look a little nasty, but not a single broken trace. But at least we know the rough area that we're searching now. Thomas keeps suggesting the bodge. All right, Thomas, what are we doing? What are we doing, Thomas? I am open to suggestions. What is that under there? From glue to power for RAM. The revision A board had a bodge wire. Yeah, I know. It's not that board though. This is the later one where the bodge wire is gone. One of the ways you can tell is these traces along here. Can't remember which one it is. There's I need to look at my photos. I'm going to just bring up my photos for a second if I can see them, if they are clear enough. Whoopsie. Let's see. So on that one, God, I can't see this at all. Right click. Open image in new window. How about that? Yeah, now I can zoom into it. So the bodge wire would typically come out of, I'm just going to sort of demonstrate this quickly. The bodge wire would typically come out of, where are we? It's the curly bit. It would typically come out of there. I don't know if you can actually see. Am I still on microscope? I better check after what happened last time. Yes, I am. Okay. So the bodge wire would typically come out of here. There would have been a hole just there on the board, right there, a hole. And the bodge wire would run along here and then connect to there, that pin right there. And there would have been a trace running along here, snaking its way along there, and that trace would have been cut somewhere because the bodge wire was replacing it. But this is a later revision of the board where that is gone. It's not there, so not really much you can do about that. I really appreciate what you're doing there, Joe. This is fantastic. We just stay long enough for you to sort that out. Okay, now I just got a text from... yeah, I think what you've just pointed out there, I will look at it, but I think what you pointed out there is just gunk. Yeah. Jay just highlighted this section here, saying it looks a little bit sus. Now, the reason this looks sus is because I think I scraped it last time, and the copper is just tarnished a little bit. So, but yeah, it looks a little bit sus. I get that, but it's okay. It's okay. Well, in the absence of definitive kind of courses of action to take other than just whipping off components that are in that area and replacing them in the hope that it might sort it out, which it could potentially do, I will probably wrap things up now. I apologise to everyone, you know, for if they were hoping that it would just keep going. That's yeah, I just sort of feel like at this stage the horse has died and I am still flogging it. So what I will do is I will begin my normal wrap-up process. I will thank everyone for watching today. I especially want to thank the 4 people that gave me thumbs down today. It means a lot to me to know that I mean that much to you. And, oh, excuse me. And a big thank you to oh God, I'm dropping everything. Big thank you to everyone for the super chats they dropped on me today. I do appreciate it. Thank you to everyone who's provided company and all those who have smashed that like button. What else? And oh yes. Don't be at all surprised if I keep looking at this today, but just not live streaming it. If I do get it working, I will post it on Facebook and say, hey, I fixed it. So, yeah, you never know, that might just happen. Alrighty, so thank you everyone for watching. I do appreciate it. Thank you for keeping me company while I went through this. At least we did get that LC recapped and happy, which is fantastic. And this guy here, which is still being a pest, we'll have a look at it again in another one. So, thanks guys, have a good one. I hope to see you soon, and yes, I will be working on the ultrasonic cleaner video today and hopefully having it out soon. So thanks guys, and see you later.